Hello? Is anybody there? I need help. Professional medical help from the best hospital in the world. So, is that the queen over there doing all the wheezing and coughing?
Oh yeah, she's having a tough time with a new disease we don't know much about. Weezer syndrome's a tough son of a bitch.
Weezer, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Shit.
Alrighty, well, it looks like I just got your test results back, and it looks like the Majestic over there isn't alone. Sir, you've got Weezer syndrome.
Say it ain't so. Trauma Center. Surgeon Simulator before Surgeon Simulator was a thing. But if we're being honest here, that's putting it a little lightly. I mean, does Surgeon Simulator have an engaging storyline? Probably not. It has Donald Trump, but I don't really think that's a positive. So for right now, Trauma Center 1, Surgeon Simulator 0. As I'm sure most people know, the Nintendo DS was the land of opportunities. There were all sorts of video games for so many kinds of people released on this console. I mean seriously, there's some wicked shit on here. Cooking Mama for the chefs, Nintendogs for the dog-loving majority, Ace Attorney, my beloved, 100 classic book collection because grandma's gotta read somehow, and wait, my Stop Smoking Coach? What the hell even is that? Next you're gonna tell me they made a diabetic blood sugar monitor for this thing. What the hell? So yeah, no matter who you are, there was a game for you. Which is good, because no matter who you are, you had a DS. So maybe you wanted to be a doctor, but you didn't want to go through med school. I respect that. I once pretended to be a lawyer a few months back and ended up getting myself a not guilty verdict. You think I went through med school? Absolutely not. That being said, I have the game for you. Going into this game, I expected it to be the Ace Attorney of the medical world, and to some extent, I wasn't wrong. Now, they definitely have differences, but they serve the same purpose. They both have fairly simple gameplay that people of any age can understand without needing a huge knowledge of their respective industries. Both stories are told in the visual novel format, and both games have a pretty intriguing story that makes you want to stick around. There's a reason I'm the #1 Ace Attorney fan, you know. But trust me, this ain't no Phoenix Wright or Professor Layton. I enjoy those games a lot because they force you to use your brain. I find it so satisfying when I discover the truth in Ace Attorney. But Trauma Center is a whole nother rodeo. Here, throw your brain away and transplant it into your patient who probably needs it more than you. In this game, it's all about skill and precision. Sure, in Ace Attorney, people's lives are on the line, but if you lose, they just go to jail. In this game, you lose, they die. Or they should. In all reality, your superior just shows up to handle things and you restart, which is lame. Like, what if I wanted to kill all my patients? You couldn't just let me do it? Alright, that's a point for Surgeon Simulator. I suppose we should talk a little about the story. We play as up-and-coming surgeon Derek Stiles, who starts out really unlikable. I mean, get a load of this dude. He has patients whose lives are on the line that will die without his help, and he's just like, sorry, I already have plans, it's not my problem. Whatever happened to the first responder, huh? Although I guess a first responder would be more someone who's driving the ambulance. Oh, what if there was a minigame where you got to drive an ambulance around through the city to get to your patients? That would have been so cool. Anyway, Derek gets his shit together eventually after finding out he has a superpower called the Healing Touch. Doctors who have this are supposedly descended from the Greek god of medicine. Not every doctor with the power has the same skill set. In Derek's case, it allows him to slow down time, which is great for those accurate surgeries. There's a cool cast of characters that you get to know, like your assistant Angie, who is pretty based. I mean, sure, maybe you could find her a bit annoying. I don't really know what the consensus is there because I wouldn't call myself a fan of this series yet, but I think she acts pretty reasonably considering Derek's foolishness all the time. I think the plot is neat enough to keep you engaged. As far as games like this go, nothing will trump the peak of Ace Attorney's plot for me, but this is still really cool. The first game sees Derek joining one of the most elite medical forces in the world in order to take on a terrorist organization who is inflicting people with an artificial parasitic virus named guilt. I mean, that type of terrorism isn't even that far-fetched. Biological warfare has existed for ages. Remember when the Mongols catapulted dead bodies infected by the plague over a wall to defeat their enemies? I sure hope not, because that was hundreds of years ago. And if you're still alive today, I have several questions, specifically regarding what was inside Abraham Lincoln's hat. The second game on the DS puts us in Derek's shoes once again as he deals with a revived version of the terrorist group from the previous game, curing patients inflicted with post-kill syndrome, meaning it's affecting people who've already been infected in the past. At this point, Derek's definitely much more capable. I mean, he goes across the world curing people who might not have the best medical support in their countries. Now that is one stand-up dude. I could get much deeper into the story because in the second game especially, it gets really good as your medical procedures start to have much more personal stakes, while you also have to deal with a corrupt medical corporation. Ah man, I love stuff like that in media. Evil, corrupt businesses are something I try to incorporate into the stories I write sometimes. I think it's just such a cool concept, and definitely a somewhat popular one. Umbrella Corporation, Fazbear Entertainment, I just love the idea of a seemingly good company doing something amazing for the world just being a front for something shady going on behind closed doors. Oh, the Ether Foundation from Pokémon Sun and Moon is another good example of that. Although in that case it doesn't really have as much of a strong effect on the story. I mean, the first cutscene literally shows Lily running away from the grunts. Obviously they're bad guys. See, that's just not how you do it. You have to build up to the reveal, but I guess people probably don't play Pokemon for the story anyway. I got way off track there, so let's talk about the gameplay, the real meat and potatoes of this series. The game was just a perfect fit for the DS. Now, I probably have to give the point to Surgeon Simulator here because you can play that in VR, so it's even more immersive, and you actually feel like you're doing surgery. But this game was a very good stepping stone to that. Using the touchscreen, you have to use all the tools at your disposal to do surgery on your patients. Man, I just realized this game doesn't include the part where you have to kindly ask the patient's family for the money they owe you after you fail to save the patient's lives. American healthcare, am I right? You have all kinds of doodads here that you'll probably need often. You have a laser, some antibiotic gel to treat small wounds, a syringe used to inject various liquids into the patient, scissors to seal up lacerations, a drain to suck up blood or pus, although I prefer to use a McDonald's straw personally, an ultrasound to find issues that might not be visible, a scalpel to do the stabby stuff, and a forceps when you want to play a game of Operation. Wait, that's literally what this is. This game is to Operation like chess is to checkers. Huh. As we discussed earlier, you can use the healing touch to slow down time for a bit. All you have to do is draw a star on the bottom screen and you're good to go. Wait, maybe it's not a star. It's a pentagram. I knew something was off about Dr. Styles. He's using satanic magic to heal his patients. Then again, Satan also powers electric guitar, so I guess it's fine, maybe? It is cheaper than electricity. Anyway, the concept behind this game is really cool. The DS was the perfect system to make a game like this for, and I can definitely see how it would be fun using all these tools to get rid of tumors and stuff like that, but I just can't do it. I played as much of the game as I could, but it stresses me the hell out, man. The pressure to be perfect weighs down on you so much, and later on in the game, it gets balls hard, so that really doesn't help. I really don't do well under stress, with that stress usually being caused by a time limit. It's the reason I've never played Majora's Mask, even though I can tell it's not as hard as it seems since you can always rewind time. I'm a constant walking ball of stress, so games like this are just not for me. I could not be a doctor. Literally everyone would die. But I guess the difficulty of this game really just shows a harsh truth of our world. There are so many games out there where you get to go crazy and shoot people's heads clean off, and doing it is so seamless and easy. You aim, press a trigger, and then just like that, life is lost. In Trauma Center, it's so difficult trying to keep patients alive sometimes, resulting in that insane amount of stress. It's funny, really. Taking life is infinitely easier than saving lives. And for that, every doctor out there deserves a round of applause for their hard work. Besides my primary physician, the dude's got hands of steel.
Holy shit, the queen just died!
Jesus, I was worried she was actually immortal. Well, that's a load off my chest.
No, is that gonna happen to me?
You like Nirvana, right?
Yeah, it's like my favorite band. I love Dead singers.
Then you should be fine. It'll give you an immunity to Weezer.
Thank you, Kurt Cobain.
Huh. Something about you is off. Mind if we do a quick ultrasound?
I'm not pregnant, I swear. Wait, don't you need like a machine for this or something? I mean, this is... Oh, this is your healing touch ability, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how to tell you about this, but you don't have a soul.
Oh, I know. I sold it a while back. I really wanted Earthbound.
That's cool and all, but that's not the issue. I've dealt with a lot of cases like this lately. When your soul is taken, you die. That's that, capiche? The soul is what makes us human. Gives us personality. Makes us unique. Without that, we're just vegetables.
Wait, so how am I still alive?
I have my suspicions. Mind if I draw some blood?
Go for it. I love donating to vampires. Wait, that was in my veins? Is that Mountain Dew?
Sure is. You know what this means? You know the tales of this phenomena?
Does it make me like super MLG or something?
You're not too far off. You're a gamer, right? Millions of people are gamers. But there's only a few true gamers. Chosen once a century.
So, wasting my life away gives me Mountain Dew blood. That's cool, I guess, but what does it mean?
Wasting your life away? Quite the opposite, sir. Without this, you wouldn't be alive today. It's been lying in your body for a long time. But it only took effect as soon as you lost your soul. It's what's keeping you alive right now.
Then I don't need my soul back, right? If there's one thing I know, most gamers probably don't have one anyway. I mean, have you ever been in a Call of Duty lobby?
I mean, if I were you, I would try and get it back. This Mountain Dew doesn't last forever. And eventually, you're gonna die. Specifically 3 months. I'd get it back as soon as possible.
Wait, so this is just like a backup source of energy? And I'm gonna die eventually. Pretty soon. Oh, damn, that's an existential crisis, alright. I mean, wait, you said you've dealt with a lot of cases like this lately. What does that mean?
You haven't heard? I guess it's sort of an urban legend. There's been someone going around lately, stealing people's souls right from their bodies. Nobody's seen his face, at least nobody that lived to tell the tale. A real modern-day serial killer in the making.
That's not a good thing, right? I mean, I sold my soul because I didn't care, but taking other people's without their consent? That's not cool.
You're telling me. He goes by the name Ryoshin. It's a name the Japanese gave him, meaning conscience. I guess he's been all over the place recently. Seems like he's stationed in the United States, with a lot of his early victims being in Kentucky. But a while back, he went on a killing spree in Japan.
Well, Japan does love their serial killer documentaries, so I guess this is some good food for them, but whatever. Thanks for helping me with my issues. I'm gonna go back to that game store to find my soul.
2 days later.
I swear it was right here.